I'm Dr. Revels, and you are listening to the REVELSations podcast. We're all family and friends here, so you can call me Rev. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Share this with somebody and let them know that you are listening. The topic of today's verse is the rocket booster and the passenger. The rocket booster and the passenger. Let's get into some dictionary definitions so we'll all be on the same page like we like to do here on the REVELSations podcast. We're going to start with the definition of a rocket booster, or what a rocket booster is. During a rocket launch into space, the part that most commonly falls off is the rocket booster. These are additional engines attached to the first stage of the rocket that detach once they run out of fuel and are no longer needed to provide extra thrust for liftoff. Their main function is to provide extra thrust during the initial launch phase. And their separation, or they depart when, once their fuel is depleted, they are jettisoned. That means separated from the rocket by using explosive bolts. Okay? Then we have passenger. I told you, the rocket booster and the passenger. A passenger is a traveler, okay, on a public or private voyage other than the driver, pilot, or crew. It is somebody that is going with you. If you're driving the car, the person who's in the car with you is a passenger. They're not the driver, they're the passenger. And what does this have to do with anything? We'll get to our last definition, and that is motivation. A reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The reasons or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. So, motivation is key in life. We need motivation. We need a reason to do what we do. Some of our motivations are internal, and I think it is proper to have a good mix of internal and external motivations. We want to eat. We want a roof over our head. These are internal motivations. These are things that we need for ourselves. So we get up and go to work. We better ourselves. We put our best foot forward in the world because we know that we need these things. So these are more internal motivations. Internal motivations are also things that make us tick just because we want to accomplish them. I want to be a smarter person. Why? Just because I do. These are internal motivations. And then we have external motivations. These are things or people that we may want to impress, or if we're quite honestly, we want to prove wrong. Somebody who said we couldn't do it, a teacher who thought we weren't going to be as smart as we are, a friend who didn't think we were going to be as successful as we are, an ex who said that we would not be anything or they left us. Those are people that we want to prove wrong. And then other times we want to impress people. We want to impress a wife. We want to impress a husband. We want to impress a future boss. We want to impress a friend. We want to impress a family member. These are the difference between internal and external motivations, and both are good. We don't want to live totally with internal motivations and no external, and then we don't want to only live for external motivations and no internal motivations. I believe having the mix of the two is best for us. What does this have to do with rocket fuel? Well, sometimes in life, we meet people and we want to go to a particular place. And our external motivations make us content or make us comfortable. Comfortable being, well, I don't really need to try harder. I'm comfortable where I am. Where I am is not that bad. And then we meet somebody. It could be somebody we've known for a while, I should say, like a family member, or it can be a new person that we meet. It could be a boss. It could be somebody we want to potentially date. And those people can end up being an external motivation for us. And that external motivation is almost like rocket fuel. Okay. They help us with our launch. Oh, okay. This person is overlooking me, or this person, I want to impress them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go harder. I'm going to do more. I'm going to better myself. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing if we find external motivation sometimes that will allow us to go higher, to be that rocket, to launch us from where we initially are. And after a while, that person may fall off. They may fall off for a couple of reasons. One, they may stop being fuel. We may get so high in our rocket launch and they fueled us so much that we no longer need them and they just fall off. Hey, I've gone past this. I no longer want to impress you, or I no longer want to prove you wrong. I am beyond that. I am over it. I'm literally beyond it. I don't need it anymore. And that's when their initial boost to get you going because of some anger or because of some excitement to impress them has worn off. And you'll notice that you got higher than you've ever been before because you know what? They helped me. That external motivation helped me. They were rocket fuel. and I appreciated the rocket fuel. Now, not all people who are external are rocket fuel. Your family, your friends, that new person you met, your boss, your potential dating partner, your spouse, they're external, but they can become passengers. They don't necessarily have to be rocket fuel. They can be in the car with you, in the rocket with you, as you go higher and higher and higher. So sometimes rocket fuel, in this case, can turn into passengers. They can be people along with the ride with you. And you got to decide, is this person rocket fuel or is this person a passenger? And more importantly, are you rocket fuel to someone or are you a passenger? Do you want to be with them in the long term or are you just motivating them to do better? See, motivation is like hope. Hope is the desired outcome based on work. We've done something before, we've done it, and we hope that it comes through. Well, we're working for a goal. We're working for something to happen at the end. And whatever that is at the end is motivating. I'm working because I'm motivated to get money. I'm going to school because I'm motivated to get smarter, because if I get smarter, I can get more money. I'm motivated to go to the gym so I can get in better shape, so I can have a healthier life, and I can get a desired partner that I would like. All of these things are motivation, and they keep us going. They keep us going. They keep us going. If we only live with rocket fuel, after a while, it's going to burn out and it's going to fall off. And those people or those things that have fallen off, if they didn't become passengers or they didn't become internal motivations, if they didn't become people or things that are with you for the duration of the journey, they will just fall off. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that. Again, as I said at the beginning, we need a proper mix of internal and external motivations. So the question is, what are you motivated by? Do you have your proper mix of internal and external motivations? Of course, you want to be the best that you can for yourself. And everybody says, don't worry about the outside world. But in reality, is that something that we can accomplish? Do we never care what other people say? I mean, our parents told us that we shouldn't, and our friends tell us that we shouldn't, but all the while they're telling us that we shouldn't, then they're also telling us what we should or should not do. And they're giving us their opinions, and they want us to take their opinions to heart. So we do care about what other people say. And what I'm telling you is use it as rocket fuel. Let it get you off the couch. If you're overweight and you're not the person that you want to be physically, let it get you back in the library. Let it get you back into school. If you're not at the education level you would like to be, let it motivate you in work. When someone else gets a promotion, don't get down about it. Let it fuel you. Let it be rocket fuel to push you or to launch you into the next phase of your career. And whatever it is that motivated you at the beginning, if you don't see it as an integral part of your life, it will never become a passenger. It will only be rocket fuel. But think about what rocket fuel does. Rocket boosters do. They get the rocket to their destination. They get them. It's the initial push. It's the initial burst that we oftentimes need to get us motivated, to get us to where we ultimately want to be and where we ultimately can be. So I ask, do you have the proper mix of internal and external motivations? Do you have your rocket fuel and your rocket boosters? And do you have those rocket booster people and those rocket fuel people that might one day become passengers? I don't know. I look at my life and I think about it. I have plenty of passengers in my life. I have a lot of people that love me and they're rooting for me and they're cheering for me. But I also have people and I have situations that are rocket boosters. And one day when I get to where I'm supposed to get and I reach the heights that I'm supposed to get to, they're going to fall off. Hope not. Hopefully they become passengers and don't only remain rocket boosters, but we'll see in time. Again, thank you for listening to the REVELSations podcast. I'm Rev. Please subscribe, rate, and review. You can contact me directly at the REVELSations podcast. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you can also contact me directly at REVELSationspodcast@gmail.com. I am because we are. Hallelujah, holla back. Peace.
Yeah, the revelations now televised. A platform for you and I. An outlook with full heart and clear eyes. Now, these are just my thoughts. Truth on how I feel with these topics I reveal. Please know my toll, I always keep it real. Can't face the word if you can't face facts. For your time, just open up your mind. That's it, just live, think big, now take that. With God in me, this here was made by design. Yeah, the revelation will be televised. REVELSations.